Hey everybody, Jeremy here. Welcome to episode 9 of Action Figure Window Shopping. And as usual, I'm going to take a look at some of the figures that caught my eye over the past week and show you which ones I think are pretty interesting. Okay, so let's get started. Now, the funny thing is, it seems like no matter what week it is, we always got some McFarlane stuff in here. So the first thing that I want to show is a newly announced figure. So this is from the DC Multiverse line, of course, and this is Clayface from DC Rebirth. He's coming soon. We don't know exactly when, but he's coming soon. It's going to be one of those massive, huge figures that I personally really enjoy. And just looking at this artwork here, I think that he looks pretty good. Now, I'm wondering how articulation is going to be. Probably not that good, but it's okay because he's so huge. You don't really expect him to be all that flexible, but it looks like his head is going to be able to move maybe around 360 degrees, some pretty standard single jointed elbows and perhaps single jointed knees, a little twist here and there. But if nothing else, then he should definitely stand firm on his feet. They're just wide and super flat. So definitely looking forward to the Clayface and adding him to what is pretty much is going to end up becoming a shelf dedicated just to big McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse figures, because killing it right now when it comes to this. And the other reveal that McFarlane had this week was for the Titan Joker from Batman Arkham Asylum. This is pretty interesting because if you missed out on the DC Collectibles Titan Joker, came out a long time ago. You try to get it now, and it's going to cost you at least $200 from different sellers on third-party marketplaces. So this is an opportunity to get your hands on that. And in case you missed what that figure looks like, take a look at them right there. So that's the DC Collectibles version of the Titan Joker. And then this is the McFarlane version of the Titan Joker. You got yourself some similarities, definitely, but there are some certain differences, especially around the eyes. McFarlane's got a little bit more black around the eyes. And it also looks like McFarlane has a little bit more green splatter there on the chest, whereas it's really more veiny on the DC Collectibles version. I don't have this one. This is one of those figures that I had an opportunity to get, but I never pulled the trigger on it. And now I'm not going to because he costs too much. But, you know, the McFarlane one should help to make up for that. And again, he looks like he's going to, well, I'm pretty sure he's going to be another one of these really big figures that is going to demand some space on the shelf. So I'm going to have to make some room for that. Now, here's another one. As I record this video, it looks like McFarlane Toys' Instagram account took this photo down, but everyone still saw it. Here's another announcement. So it's Batman from the upcoming movie, The Batman, but they call him like the Grifter or the Drifter, not the Grifter, the Drifter from the Batman. And ooh, this figure doesn't look good. And it is being dragged on social media of people just going like, what in the heck is going on? You know, it's supposed to be Robert Pattinson, of course. And you can kind of see it in the eyes. You can kind of see it. And he's got that black makeup around his eyes. But the figure just looks really weird. He looks really bulky. And that face sculpt is not the best. It's not a very good looking figure. Now, it's the good thing is he's also going to come with this motorcycle that they only kind of show in this photo. So it'll be not the first motorcycle that we've gotten from McFarlane Toys. You got like the Bat Cycle, but you know, as far as just like regular motorcycles go, it'll be the first one that we get in this line. Something that I think that you'll be able to use with a wide variety of figures if you're looking for something that can fit that 7-inch DC Multiverse figure scale. This is going to be the motorcycle, the kind of regular motorcycle that you can use for it. So yeah, not a very good looking figure, not a very good look. Apologies for the trickling that you can probably hear in the background. That's my Arrow Garden. But the other thing I wanted to point out is they're still doing the darn shifty eyes. It really seemed to be going just full speed ahead with these weird off-center eyes. And it's just, I really want McFarlane to stop this. Probably already in the works for a variety of characters whenever that decision was made, but I'm hoping that the feedback gets back to him enough for him to just say, you know what, let's not do the eyes to the side anymore. Let's just keep them forward, because it's not good for an action figure to have eyes that are not centered like that. Seems like his appreciation for statues seems to be seeping back into this line, and it's just not good for action figures. Love you, Todd, but we can't do the shifty eyes. Let's keep them centered. All right, so while we're on the topic of Batman stuff, going over to Big Bad Toy Store, you can see that Eagle Moss Publications has these different Batmobiles for really affordable prices. So let me just click on the 1989 Batmobile, the best Batmobile. And you see it's 24 bucks. The scale is pretty small, 143 scale, 143rd scale. And they say that it's hand painted and it comes in this little collector's dome box type of thing. So it's got collectors in mind, and as you can see, it's not very expensive at all. But you know, if you're looking for an alternative to this, I do still want to bring your attention to what's already available and been available for a while, and that's the Jada Toys line of Batmobiles that come in a larger scale for pretty much the same price. So this is 1/24th scale. They got all kinds of Batmobiles, from the 1966 Batmobile, and then they've got the Tumbler. They have let's see, they've got this Batmobile. I forget which one this one is from. They've got the Batmobile from the animated series, which is this one right here. And they also come in 132 scale. So no matter which way you want to slice it, these are going to be bigger, and they're also die cast, so they feel better. I got a couple of them, and they're pretty good cars. And I do like Batmobiles, so that's why this particular collection of Batmobiles caught my attention. So it's nice to see, but if I had my choice personally, I would still go with the Jada Toys versions, because they just feel more substantial, and I think that they do a really good job with Batmobiles and with cars in general. So that's the route that I would go if you can still find some of those Batmobiles at a pretty reasonable price. But don't wait around for too long, because they will go away eventually. Also over here at Big Bad Toy Store, I got really interested in these type of figures. I never heard of this before, but it's this Combatants line from, I don't know how to pronounce this. Is that Zesray Studio? And what was interesting about this, and I mentioned this in other action figure window shopping videos, is I really like figures that are like gladiators and like Roman soldiers and stuff like that, especially when they have a bunch of armor like this guy does here. Gaius Pontius Stolo. I mean, that's just like that quintessential kind of Roman-esque name or Greek-esque name. I'm not sure which one would be the correct culture to attribute that to, but it's a really cool name. And it's a cool looking figure. Look at this guy, all decked out in his armor, swords. You know, you got this eagle on this staff. Not the best picture. It's out of focus. But yeah, I mean, we got a couple different heads, and it's not really a small figure either. It's 6.5 inches, so that's pretty cool. Comes with a lot of accessories, and $63.99. So, you know, kind of puts it definitely above what you would see in regular retail stores, but below what you would see in something like Mezco or in a lot of cases SH Figure Art. So it kind of carves out a not crazy expensive niche for itself, but you know, it's approachable. I think it's an approachable price, and they have so many other different figures. Like, look at this guy, Ambalous Beetle, you know, type of guy that you would see in the arena. He's got that scorpion shield, or the Coliseum. He's got that scorpion shield there, and you also have some regular soldier looking dudes. This guy who is lacking for armor, but it's okay because he's a badass, apparently. You know, it's kind of like Kratos. Can you kind of see it? If you were to repaint this guy, you can probably get a Kratos out of him. Definitely, I think so. So yeah, so around 65 to 70 bucks. I thought that those were pretty cool to look at. And then also this line from Toys Alliance, Acid Rain. What got my attention with this is mechs. And these are like the sort of smaller scale type of figures. So these are 1/18th scale, but we're talking about mechs here. So it's not like they're going to be like really, really small. But I like these mechs. I like how weathered they look, and it's very different. And it kind of reminds me of, let's see, I talked about this in one of the other videos. This was from the Joy Toy Battle for the Stars line. I remember showing this guy and saying I was going to pick him up, and this is the 3 3/4 inch figures. And this line also has mechs as well. So those mechs look pretty cool. They're a little bit pricey though. But these mechs are cheaper than the ones that will come with this. And they look cool. So I like looking at these lines that I never heard of before, that I never seen before. And here is one of the regular human figures from this line. But these are still bigger than the Joy Toy figures. These are around 4 inches in this 1/18th scale, and Joy Toy is like 1/24, like 3 1/4. So they're a little bit bigger. So I think those mechs should still work with both lines. And also, scroll down a little bit, we got some more mechs. So this is from a company called Toys Raider, the Live or Live Battlefield Conqueror Mecha, and this is the 3 aircraft formation set, 1/12th scale figures. Kind of reminds me of Pacific Rim. I love how detailed this is, and I always think that it's a pretty interesting look when you have robots, but yet they have what looks like a giant cloth on them for some reason, so it can blow in the wind and kind of show an effect. I think that's really cool. But yeah, this is definitely giving off serious Pacific Rim vibes. So if you wanted all 3 of these guys, $329 for all 3, or individually for $124. So I'm gonna take a look at this guy here with the cloth over him. Pacific Rim Transformers-ish, you know, good stuff. We got 4 interchangeable hands, a double-barreled sniper rifle machine gun with detachable barrels, back-attached antenna, and a sneak cloak. Of course, it's a sneak cloak, you know, because he doesn't want to be seen, and you're not going to see him. I'm sure he doesn't have a bunch of lights on him, and he's not absolutely massive in this world and stomping around in this post-apocalyptic landscape. But hey, whatever. He sneaks around. That's good enough for me. So I really do like the look of those mechs there. And then let's see what we got on this other tab here. That's the front page. Oh, I did want to show the Book of Boba Fett stuff because that series just debuted on Disney Plus for the first episode. I looked at it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. So, of course, you're going to want to look at some figures for it. The Star Wars section inside of stores like Target and Walmart has not been the best lately. It's really kind of been boring and kind of dead over there. I guess there's really nothing really to push. Unlike when the newer movies started coming out and Star Wars was huge, you know, but now things have died down. But here are some Boba Fett action figures that you can get from the Black series. So this one is going to be the 6-inch Deluxe Boba Fett. And he's going to come with a helmeted head, a rifle, a blaster, and a Z6 backpack. Multiple points. I mean, you've seen Star Wars Black Series figures. So it's going to be just as you expect it to be, and it's Hasbro, so you kind of get a sense of what the quality is going to be. $34.99 seems a bit pricey for this. It might be the big bad toy store tax. Hopefully that's the case because I really do think that they should keep these figures in line with what we're seeing here, $24.99, because that's how much they go for now. But here is another one from the Star Wars The Vintage Collection, Tatooine Boba Fett, also from the Book of Boba Fett, and he's cheaper for $27.99. They can still bring that price down a little bit. But this one is the 3.75-inch scale figure. So this is the small figure, not the big figure. But I know there are people who are into the smaller scale of Star Wars figures, kind of like, you know, like the classic stuff. So that one is for you. And then, of course, you got the more expensive, you got the Hot Toys version. likeness is going to be absolutely stunning. Look at that. That is a amazing likeness. Yep. Fennec Shand or Shand. Yep, she's definitely pulling her weight in the series so far, so that's really good stuff. And then the last thing that I wanted to show, and unfortunately I don't have like a really big expensive figure or some type of collectible item this week to show you, but something kind of caught my eye and it's right here on the first page. So I don't think this is risque enough for YouTube to want to take it down. But so here's the thing. I'm not interested in these super flexible, sexy female figures with realistic faces. I'm not interested in that. But what I am interested in is what's what's underneath. That sounds terrible. What I am interested in is this here. This body is built on a stainless steel skeleton with a high level of articulation for real human movement. That's what I'm interested in, because this figure, as you can see in these photos, they are posable. It is posable, but you don't see, there's no joints, there's no hinges or anything like that. So it's got to do with that skeleton that's underneath. And I'm just really curious to know like how that works and how well that skeleton actually holds, and of course these promotional pictures, everything is going to look perfect, but it got me wondering if this is actually so good as far as posability is concerned, and it says that it has 28 points of articulation, what's stopping like different action figures from, like Marvel, DC, or whatever, from kind of adopting this exact same way of articulation to kind of get rid of joints and hinges and all that stuff to really make it look as realistic as possible when you don't have fabric to hide those joints and stuff. So yeah, I saw this and then I immediately was like, well, how are they getting them to pose when there's like nothing here? Is it like a bendy toy or something? But no, this is $95, so it's not cheap. But I'm really curious to know how that stainless steel skeleton is. I'm not gonna buy it. I'm just curious about how it all works. All right, so let me leave this page before YouTube bots find me. All right. Oh, this should make them happy. We got a bunch of really jacked shirtless guys. There we go. So everything is nicely balanced now. All right, so that is it for this week's edition of Action Figure Window Shopping. A lot of brands that I've never heard of and never seen before, and that's what I really like to see. But I can't help it if McFarlane has new announcements every single week consistently. We can say what we want about how they handle different things from re-releases and shifty eyes and all that stuff, man, but they constantly got new stuff coming and constantly letting us know what they have in the works. And that's more than we can say for the majority of toy companies. So I'm sure they'll have another announcement sometime later this week, and I'll be able to share that with you next week, as well as anything else that I might find. All right, so that's it. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, I'm Jeremy. Talk to you later.